The rain fell softly over the mountains, shrouding the village below in a thick mist. Old Jero sat on his wooden porch, his fingers tracing the lines of an ancient book. His eyes, though clouded by age, sparkled with wisdom as he gazed out over the landscape. It was here, in this quiet corner of the world, that travelers often came seeking his counsel, drawn by whispers of his knowledge and the riddles of life he held within. One afternoon, a young man arrived, eyes filled with a mixture of frustration and longing. He had heard of old Jero and hoped the wise elder might offer him a way out of the fog that seemed to blanket his life, an invisible barrier that kept him from truly thriving. As the young man approached, Jero smiled gently and motioned for him to sit.
You carry a heavy burden.
The old man said softly,
But it's not the weight on your back. It's the one in your mind.
Before we delve deeper into this journey of discovery, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, where I share more stories like this. Stories designed to challenge your perspectives, inspire growth, and help you unlock the potential within. Whether you seek wisdom, motivation, or simply a place to find a new sense of purpose, this channel is for you. Now, let's journey forward with Jero and uncover the path to freedom. The young man, whose name was Leo, sighed heavily.
I feel stuck, Jero. No matter how hard I try, it seems like there's an invisible wall holding me back. I work hard, but the success I dream of remains just out of reach. What am I doing wrong?
Jero chuckled softly, the sound warm like a distant memory.
The invisible walls we build for ourselves. Tell me, Leo, do you know how a young elephant is trained?
Leo shook his head, puzzled by the sudden question.
Well,
Jero began.
When an elephant is young, it is tied to a small stake in the ground. At first, the elephant struggles and tugs, but it cannot break free. After a while, it gives up, believing it can never escape. As it grows older and stronger, the same small stake still holds it in place, even though it could easily pull free with a single effort. But the elephant doesn't try anymore because it has accepted that it is trapped.
Leo furrowed his brow.
So, you're saying I'm like that elephant? But I don't see any chains holding me down.
Jero smiled knowingly.
No, not chains of iron. Chains of thought. You see, Leo, the most powerful chains are the ones we place on ourselves. We convince ourselves that we are limited, that we are not capable, that the world is against us. These are your limiting beliefs, and they are far more powerful than any physical barrier.
But how do I break them?
Leo asked, his voice tinged with desperation.
First, you must recognize them.
Jero said, his tone now more serious.
You've already begun this journey by acknowledging that something is holding you back. But that is only the first step. Limiting beliefs often disguise themselves as truths, and we accept them without question. You must learn to question these beliefs.
Leo nodded, though confusion still clouded his face.
Can you give me an example?
Jero leaned forward.
Imagine you believe that you're not good enough to succeed. Maybe you've tried and failed before, and that failure has planted a seed of doubt in your mind. Over time, you've watered that seed with every new challenge, every setback, every critical voice. Now, that seed has grown into a towering belief that you cannot succeed. Every time you approach a new opportunity, you hesitate, already convinced that failure is inevitable.
Leo lowered his gaze.
That sounds familiar.
Jero's eyes softened.
It's a story many of us tell ourselves. But here's the key, Leo. That belief is not the truth. It is only a story you've been telling yourself for so long that it feels real. The truth is, you are capable of more than you think. You simply need to rewrite the story.
Rewrite the story?
Leo asked, his curiosity piqued.
Yes.
Jero continued.
Our minds are like storytellers, weaving narratives based on our experiences, our fears, and our hopes. If the story you've been telling yourself is one of limitation and failure, then it's time to become the author of a new story, one of growth, resilience, and success.
But how do I do that?
Leo asked, eager for answers.
Start by challenging your beliefs.
Jero said.
Ask yourself, Is this belief serving me? Is it helping me grow? Or is it holding me back? When you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, stop and ask, is that really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? Often, you'll find that the belief has no solid foundation. It's simply a shadow cast by past fears and failures.
Leo leaned in, absorbing every word.
So, it's about changing how I think?
Exactly.
Jero said, nodding.
But it's not just about thinking differently. It's about acting differently. Limiting beliefs are like old, well-worn paths in your mind. The more you walk them, the deeper they become. To break free, you need to create new paths. That means taking action, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain.
But what if I fail again?
Leo asked, his voice small. Jero smiled.
Failure is not the end, Leo. It's simply feedback. It tells you what didn't work, so you can adjust your course. Every time you fail, you learn. And every time you learn, you grow stronger. The only true failure is giving up.
Leo sat in silence, letting the words wash over him. He had spent so long fearing failure that he had forgotten its value. For the first time, he began to see it not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone.
You must also surround yourself with the right people.
Jero added.
People who believe in your potential, who challenge you to grow, who lift you when you fall. The company you keep can either reinforce your limiting beliefs or help you break free from them.
Leo thought of his friends, his colleagues, the voices that filled his days. Some were supportive, but others, he realized, fed his doubts, whether intentionally or not. He had allowed their negativity to shape his own beliefs.
And finally,
Jero said,
be kind to yourself. The journey to break free from limiting beliefs is not a straight line. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of doubt. But if you show yourself compassion and patience, you will find the strength to keep going.
Leo looked up at the old man, his heart feeling lighter than it had in years.
Thank you, Jero. I think I understand now. It's not the world that's holding me back, it's me.
Jero nodded, his eyes twinkling with pride.
Exactly, my boy. And now that you see the chains, you can begin to break them.
As the sun began to set over the mountains, Leo stood to leave, feeling a newfound sense of purpose.
I have a lot to think about. But more importantly, I have a new story to write.
He said, smiling. Jero waved him off with a gentle laugh.
Go forth, Leo. Remember, the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. And now that you know the truth, nothing can stop you from thriving.
Leo walked down the path, the weight of his old beliefs slowly lifting from his shoulders. He no longer felt trapped by the invisible chains of doubt and fear. Instead, he felt a spark of hope, a sense of possibility. For the first time in his life, he believed that he could not only survive but thrive. The journey ahead would not be easy, but Leo knew he was ready. After all, the greatest obstacles were never outside of him. They had always been within, and now he was free. Thank you for joining me on this journey with old Jero and Leo. If this story resonated with you and you're ready to break free from your own limiting beliefs, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Together, we'll explore more stories, wisdom, and tools to help you unlock your full potential and start thriving.